Hi guys, Ryu here with another video for Blender. In this one we're gonna talk about difference between booleans in Hardops, Boxcutter and vanilla Blender. So we are in vanilla Blender 2.91. Well, it's kind of vanilla because I'm using add-ons, but I don't have Hardops and Boxcutter installed. As you can see here, no icons, as opposed to 2.92 where I had these icons installed. So now let me drop Cavity here. Oh, I can't drop Cavity with Hardops because I have no installed Hardops. There we go, Cavity. And screencast keys on, perfect. So now let's say that I wanted to, boolean this cube in the middle. So Shift D X, move it here, scale it, go to orthographic, right? Move it somewhere here, and then move it up, and somewhere here, and select this one with Shift, and then Control minus. And by the way, for Control minus to work, okay, you would need to have the Bool tools enabled in your Blender, okay? Otherwise these shortcuts will not work. So now that's our cutter, okay? And you can see that it's still a cube, which is a problem, so because you can't see anything. And that's first thing that Boxcutter and Hardops do for you. Now if I was in a Boxcutter and Hardops, I can simply run a cut, shift click, and I'm done. And you can see that I can, this Boolean shape is automatically switched to wireframe, whereas in here you would need to do this manually, okay? So that's the first difference. Second difference, to delete this for a second, and let's just delete this Boolean, okay? Let's run a bevel here, okay? Let me show you how it works. So I'm gonna drop a bevel in here, right? So that's the first step. Then I have to add 3 segments. That's the second step. I need to change this, offset a little bit. Then switch here to angle, that's another step. Right click and shade smooth, another step. Then I have to go here and auto smooth, another step. Then I need to go here and find where the normals, okay? Then I need to, if I want to duplicate this cube, I can duplicate it, but it's gonna be better to actually create a new one because it's bevel free, and you don't want to have your booleans with bevels. So GX and move it in here, and then GZ and move it up. Shift select this one, Control minus. And now what I need to do is I need to clean this up, because you can see that bevel runs through all these edges except for the ones that have been cut. And it's a pain in the ass because you need to move this boolean all the way up, yeah? All the way up above the bevel, okay? And that is, properly done boolean, right? Now watch this. Bevel and smoothing, right? One click. I'm gonna introduce 3 segments, press 1, and I'm done. Weighted normals, done, okay? Cut with Boxcutter, done. See my point? But it gets better. Now let's say that I wanted to, for example, slash it, okay? Change this to slash. I would need to go to the modifier stack, and actually currently you can switch the the Boolean type to union, okay, intersect, or difference. But that's it, right? Now watch this. All I do here, I select the cutter, right, and I simply go Shift Bool, and I scroll my mouse, and I scroll through every single type of Boolean, including inset. So if I press T now, I can actually, change the size of this inset and have fun with it. In addition to all this, if you want to, for example, bevel your cutters in vanilla, you need to do it manually. You don't have to do this at all manually in Hardops or Boxcutter, because all you do is simply, draw it, press B, and you're done. Then you scroll your mouse. You want a chamfer? No problem. Move your mouse to the left, move your mouse to the right, and you got a chamfer, right? And Bob's your uncle. Let's say that you wanted to, I don't know, array this boolean, right? So let's say that this boolean in vanilla was a bit smaller, and it was, somewhere, I don't know, somewhere here, okay? At the moment the bevel is a bit too big, so we need to make it a bit smaller. Yes, it's just a bit too crazy, so something like that. And I wanted to array this, right? So what I need to do is go to my modifier and click on array. And then I need to find the correct axis, so I would need to, reduce this one to 0, possibly increase this one in the correct way, and then add some arrays, right? This is how you do it in Hardups, okay? You drop a cutter and you press V, right? And then you press X, and I have this array from a previous array, so it's a lot of them, but you can easily switch the direction in which you want to go. And let's say you want to mirror it, no problem, 1. Mirror it downstairs, no problem, 3. You're done. You feel me? So that's how we roll. In addition to all this, you can rotate these buggers, okay? Right? You know, you can move them, so you can just click and move them wherever you want, right? You can adjust them. Okay, you can still bevel them. Okay, you can keep just tweaking your design to your heart's content. You want to solidify this, no problem, you can solidify this. Okay, shift to live, and you can still play with it. So that's the power of Boxcutter and Hardups. Now let's talk about other booleans, right? Let's say slash. So it works similarly here, as the cut boolean. So you simply add a cube, you make it smaller, and you bring it up here, GZ, and then control forward slash on a numpad, and this will introduce the slash. The problem is that again, for every single piece you need to bring all these booleans up again manually every fucking time. Okay, so I don't know, man, that's a lot of overtime work. Yeah, so there you go, right? And union boolean works the same way. Now you can create an insert boolean in vanilla Blender, but I will not show you how to do this because it's just retarded. Okay, the process is ridiculous. You can go to Josh Campbell's website, YouTube channel, and you can actually watch. The process is so complicated and so fucked up that he actually had to revisit his own videos to remember how it's done. It's that dumb. Okay, now in Boxcutter, it's a joke. Okay, you just click, you drag, press X 3 times, and you got inset. You feel me? And then again you can bevel and do whatever the hell you want with it. Okay, so that's how you roll in Hardups and Boxcutter. Now the true power of these add-ons comes when you start playing with cutters. Let's say that you wanted to create a tapered shape, so you press Shift T and you can taper your shape, and then you can still bevel it, and you can create stuff like this on the fly. Okay, on the fly. You can have repeating cutters. So for example, if I'm in object mode and let's say I'm gonna create cut like this, right, and I'm gonna taper it, okay, and I'm gonna bevel it, right, and I wanted to repeat it. Okay, hold Control, double click, boom, done. You know what I'm saying? Now what if you wanted to align cutter really precisely? You can do this with grid. So you turn the grid on here, okay, in Boxcutter, and you can select the size of the grid, and you simply hold Control. You need to be in Shift V in object view, hold Control, and you can decide where you want to start cutting. You could be really precise with your drawing. Okay, how about you want to create an Angon cut? No problem. You press D, you go to Angon, and now you can have fun with Angon. You cannot do it in vanilla Blender, it's just not gonna happen. Okay, you cannot create cuts like this. Okay, it doesn't exist. How about if you wanted to create, for example, cut that goes always at the same depth, right? Can you do it in vanilla Blender? Technically you can, but it would just require a lot of precision and setting up. In Hardups and Boxcutter, you just set the depth. So you go to shape, right? You go to laser cut depth to 0.2 meters, okay? And then every single cut I perform, right? So let's go to, let's say, box. Everything single cut I perform is gonna go to the same depth. Right? Doesn't matter where I cut or with what shape I'm gonna cut. It's gonna be always the same depth, right? So watch. These cuts are not happening. They're caused by vert issues underlying under this cube. So if you have underlying verts, there's some kind of a verts because of verts and edges connecting these booleans to the edges of this face. So if a boolean runs through it, sometimes it might be a bit glitchy, so you need to move it. Happens the same in vanilla, so it's just a Blender limitation. Okay, but they're gonna always go to the same depth, right? Which is pretty amazing. You can have custom cutters as well. All right, let me squash this a little bit, right? to this maybe size, and then let's apply scale, right? And then let's go to custom. So D, custom, select this one, press C to copy it, and guess what? You got yourself custom cutter. Okay, I just need to remove the bevels from it, because cutters, I mean, cutters should not have bevels running on them. So now let's select this cube and let's cut it, and boom, is your custom cutter. Okay, it gets better, you know, because custom cutters and all cutters really, you know, they respond to all these techniques, like for example taper or bevel. You know, you can do anything you want with these add-ons. It's just mental. But that, you know, that's not it. I mean, it's endless. Okay, so let's grab a box, and let's just shift this in here. Okay, let's just draw a box in here on this cube, right? And let's say I wanted to grab these two shapes as a cutter. I press Y, and it's gonna extract this face as a cutter, and I'll select this cube. Boom, you got your custom cutter just from this, you know, from this area that you actually selected. Okay, so there you go. Then in vanilla Blender, what you need to do every time, for example, when you resize a shape, right? When you resize it, it's going to scale on whichever axis you're scaling it on, right? So then when you want to, for example, either cut it or boolean it, you're gonna have issues like this. Well, it doesn't happen in Hardop's and Boxcutter, because Boxcutter automatically applies the scale to an object, so you don't have to even bother. All right, so when I go to item here, I'll watch this, watch the scale, it's 111, right? I'm gonna rescale it on y-axis, fact, run the cutter, sorted. Yeah, and that's how it goes. Let's talk about another function that is really cool in Hardop's and Boxcutter, and that's just creating shape from booleans, which you cannot do in vanilla Blender. So if someone tells you that you can do everything in vanilla Blender, you can do with add-ons, just hit them with a cube, because they're full of shit. All right, so let's grab a box, and you know, let's just draw it without anything selected. So I'm just gonna press A twice to deselect everything, and I can draw a shape with my box cutter. I can draw any shape. I can use any boolean to draw a shape with my box cutter. It can be n-gon, it can be circle, it can be anything you want at any angle. Okay, that's one. Two, you got join boolean, which is fantastic, because you can use the grid, right, in object mode. Okay, so select this object, and I can draw a shape in here, press J, okay, and then E, and when I extrude it, it's gonna be actually merged. This is a joined object. So if I actually go here and click on multiply, you can see that now this one has become a part of this geometry. It's a Boolean object. So you can very precisely create Boolean objects that's gonna be a union Boolean objects that's gonna be merging with the main geometry that you're working on. Okay, so that's that. Let's remove this one because it annoys me. Now let's go to 83.7, because some of these features actually do not work in experimental very well yet. So let's go to grab a cube, and let me show you something really cool. It's called wedge. It's called line box. So if I'm in box mode, okay, so I'm in a box mode. So if I turn it off, I'm in a box mode, right? I click on this one and I draw a line. I drag it, I click it, I extrude it, I press W, and I get a wedge cut. You can bevel it as well, by the way. Okay, so you can cut wedges really easily. Another fantastic function, let's jump back to 92, is a non-cyclic n-gon. So let's switch it off. Let's switch off the snap grid, and let's turn off the cyclic. Watch this. With nothing selected, right, I can draw this n-gon on the floor like this, press E, and extrude it up, and I have a wall. Okay, you can do the same thing in on Geo. So let's grab this. Let's grab actually a cube. Okay, let's grab a cube. I'll show you something cool, and move it in here. And by the way, this is how I created. I'm gonna show you how to create this kind of stuff. All right. So where is this scene? This one. This is actually a scene for December Patreon on Blender Bros. So if you're interested in supporting us, this is one of the tutorials that's going to be hitting tier 3, and the tier 2 is going to be receiving files from this course. But That's gonna be for December, and this is how I created the method I'm gonna show you. This is how I created these cuts in here, in these beams, okay, these ones, all right? So that's I want to show you how to do this. Anyway, if you're interested in supporting us on Patreon, link in the video description. So let's grab this one and, you know, let's scale this, right? Let's go to front view orthographic. Let's grab a box and, okay, so let's slice this object through, right? What the fuck? Oh, we in the, I forgot to switch off laser cut depth. Switch it to 0, so it's gonna be, you know, going through the mesh. So slice it, and we're gonna align it because reasons. So drop a cursor here, then mod scroll toggle, and select the cutter, move it to cursor so it's in the middle, and now watch. I'm gonna grab an angle, turn off cyclic, and I'm just gonna do boom, boom, and boom, right? And just slice it, and I'm done. Yeah, sharpen, bevel, and weighted normals, and you know, there you go. There's some kind of a problem here with this face, but the issue is most likely the connecting lines between these cuts and edges sort of interfering with the bevel. And let me show you how to fix it with hard ups. Yeah, I'm just gonna draw a box cut. Okay, box cut, switch it to knife, slice, done. Yeah, see what I mean? And there you go. So that's another fantastic function in hard ups and box cutter is the knife, because you can use knife with any shape you want. Okay, you can boolean with another object and use it as knife. Watch. Let's bring it in here. GY, GZ, bring it up. Okay, GX, bring it in here. Let's remove all these modifiers, and shift click this one, and Q, and then booleans, knife, and then when you go to the shape, boom, and you can do stuff like this. So select these and EM macro and Bob's your uncle. So there you go. If someone tells you that, you know, you can do anything you want with vanilla, yeah, they need a day off. Really, they need a day off. That's the bottom line. Yeah. So, and that's not really all regarding booleans. And both Boxcutter and hard ups have Boolean system. So Boxcutter is far more advanced and has is just, you know, Boolean specific, but hard ups also have Booleans, because if I disable Boxcutter, right? So if I go to where is it, edit and preferences, right, and just gonna type Boxcutter, okay, and I'm gonna disable it, right? So disable Boxcutter for a minute, okay, and I only have hard ups, right? So let's just grab a cube, okay, and bring it somewhere here. All right, and let's just align it. Let's just align it to this shape here. So let me just drop a cursor to this box, and this one to cursor. Perfect. GY, and just move it up. Okay, so GZ, and move it in here, and I can use the Boolean system in hard ups to slash this shape. So I can, you know, for example, go and use difference. Then I can do, you know, shift bool, which is basically a hard ups option, and so forth and so on. So, but I couldn't, for example, bevel this, right? So this comes, or draw a cutter, because that's what comes with Boxcutter. So that's why these two add-ons are like siblings, okay? They, you know, they're like twin siblings, you know. You can't just use them separately because it makes no sense. They're so well intertwined that you just, you know, it's a bundle, guys. We gotta get a bundle. So anyway, hope this show you some cool stuff and differences between Boolean system in vanilla and in hard ups and Boxcutter, and how fast this is and how powerful this is in hard ups and Boxcutter. And if you're interested in buying these add-ons, there are links in the video description, so go ahead and buy them through the links. You're gonna help me as well. Doesn't cost you anything extra. And like I said again, have a look at our Patreon. We have an amazing Patreon offer. 3 tiers, and every month there's some really cool stuff coming up for people who use add-ons and for people who don't use add-ons. There's something over there for everyone, okay? So have a look, a link in the video description, and I thank you for watching. Catch you in the next video.